Joins us now. Good morning, Jonathan.
Morning.
Petty behaviour, infighting, insults. The public can't stand this kind of behaviour, can they?
Well, frankly, I think I've got a lot of sympathy with what you're saying there. I think what has happened has been completely unacceptable, and we need to get to the bottom of it and make sure that it doesn't happen again.
You're on the inside. I know you weren't there at the actual event, but I mean, what kind of behaviour is this? I mean, what do you think this looks like from the outside looking in?
Well, I wasn't there at the time, as you say. I arrived at that meeting, which had been called at incredibly short notice, and I arrived there sort of quarter of an hour into the meeting, and I missed what had actually happened. So I've been trying to piece together, as I'm sure all of us have, exactly what has gone on over that time. Frankly, nobody comes out of it particularly looking great. The way that different people have acted in this.
You must have some sense of, even if you don't know who scuffled with who and who banged the head off a door and what happened to put someone in a hospital. You must have some sense of why tensions are so high that could lead to something like this. Why do you think that is?
Well, in this case, I think that the tension was running high. I think the one thing that everybody agrees about is that Stephen Wolfe was confronted over him having had quite advanced plans to leave UKIP and join another party, and I think people felt a little bit betrayed by that from someone like Stephen Wolfe, who then, in the next breath, decided he wanted to stand for leadership of UKIP. And I think, naturally, tensions are going to be high about that. Now, I don't condone what appears to have then happened. I don't condone Stephen Wolfe then apparently taking off his jacket and suggesting to another MEP that it should be sorted outside, which to many people could well be taken in a way of him suggesting a fight. I know Stephen is saying that he didn't mean in any way a physical fight when he said let's go outside, but it appears to have been taken that way. And if something is taken that way, then obviously the natural reaction is to say no. Let's sort this with words, not with anything like that.
Well, exactly. I mean, Jonathan, you're an ex-teacher. I mean, if your school kids were behaving like this, they'd be possibly suspended, maybe even expelled. I mean, is that the kind of thing that should happen to these people?
Well, what I can't say is exactly what happened because I wasn't there. And I certainly think there should be an investigation of this and look has gone wrong on both sides, what has done wrong on both sides, and I certainly wouldn't rule out the possibility that could be the case. But I think I would like to know a little bit more from the horse's mouth, so to speak, before I say too much on that.
And there's another mystery surrounding. You had a new leader, and now you don't, and you need a new leader. There is chaos in your party. I mean, you're making the Labour Party look organised at the minute.
Well, that would be a massive achievement.
You've seemed to have done it.
I think what's happening really with Diane, she had some pretty dire personal circumstances due to a serious health issue with someone in her family, and that's come up after she was elected as UKIP leader. And I think we have to be very understanding about situations like that. I certainly wouldn't ever want to be in the situation that Diane is in at the moment. I think actually the appropriate response to that is to be very sympathetic to the situation that Diane finds herself in.
And a statement didn't just refer to that. A statement was about things going on in the party as well.
Well, I from what I've seen and from what I've heard, it seems to me that was the primary reason. I know that there were things that she found difficult because naturally, if you're going to go from being an MEP who hasn't really had much involvement with the internal structures of a party to then suddenly becoming party leader, I think she probably didn't fully appreciate and understand the nature of the internal organisation of UKIP and the level of what was needed to change that. And I think she didn't realise that some of her plans weren't quite as straightforward to implement as she had thought they were. So I think there was an element of that, and certainly I think one thing that would be useful in a leadership election is to have is for the next leader to be somebody who really does understand those internal structures of UKIP. And
very quickly, Jonathan, just because we're running into the news here, do you think almost because you got the result you wanted with Brexit, that it almost had to make you question the identity of the party and the future of your party? And that's at the core of some of these other problems.
I think certainly we need to be clear about what our message needs to be, and it needs to be a positive vision of what the UK can be after Brexit. That's what we've tried to do, actually, in the North East. That's what we tried to do with our vision for the North East, for example. That's why I think we're doing so well in the North East. That's why last night we won by a landslide a council by-election in Hartlepool, despite what's going on nationally.
But
so actually,
nationally,
I think we're doing
bits, would you say?
I think we're doing the right things here in the North East. I think nationally, we need to make sure that we find the right way of uniting, and we need to make sure that we've got that positive message across the country about what we stand for, about not just about the European Union, but we need to be talking about issues like crime. We need to be talking about direct democracy, about giving the people more of a say in how their country is run. We need to be talking.
Are you going to throw your hat in the ring again? Are you going to throw your hat in the ring again, Jonathan?
Oh, now there's a question. I'd say probably not. I'm still hopeful that we might persuade Paul Nuttall to stand, who would be a fantastic leader and who has absolutely bags of experience. If he doesn't, then I'll consider it.
OK, thank you very much. Jonathan Arnott there, UKIP MEP. Your thoughts, the future for UKIP? 09123265565. Sorry, you're all...